What a load of rubbish that was! Right, review for G20. A new action film coming up. Oh, it's going to be so good! G20, nice and short title to make sure that everybody that doesn't have an attention span anymore from looking at smartphones is able to remember the title. G20. If you're off there playing Angry Birds, you might fleetingly look at this on Prime Video. Was that Amazon? Anyway, I looked at the trailer. Supposedly, there's a big meeting of the head honchos in the whole world. All the leaders of all the world gathered together who are in danger of being killed. But that's supposed to be a bad thing. Yeah, you're supposed to root for them. Don't ask me why. And the American president goes over there, but she's a sassy black chick who's about in her mid-90s. She wears a very beautiful scarlet gown during most of the action scenes, sort of like Deadpool and drag, I guess. And she's, I wouldn't describe her as Olympic athlete level of fitness. She's pushing 300 kilos. She looks like her a lot of elbow work happening there between her and her Haagen-Dazs, but she's in there. She's ex special ops. That's what it is, or baby seals or something. She used to club baby seals as a living, as a hobby, and she's there to kick ass because they're all there sitting together. The G20 people talking about, baby adrenochrome, how they can get their supply happening. And she's there in her scarlet gown, and guess what happens? A direct rip-off of Die Hard. That's right. Some terrorists come to attack them. But not for ideological reasons, because that's a bit dodgy right now. Let's keep it safe. Let's do it for money. Yeah, everyone understands that. Because you know where they're from? The head terrorist? He's from that well-known spawning ground of terrorism, New Zealand. And he looks like he's an ex-boy band member. You know when you have a boy band and then 20 years later they're trying to get their career back together and they look like a sort of middle-aged drunk guy that's been through a lot of rehab but with a slightly younger haircut than they should have. Well, that's what the head terrorist guy looks like. And he's also got the same accent as somebody from New Zealand who's famous apart from Frodo Baggins. I can't think of anybody. No, I can't. Famous New Zealander. Edmund Hillary. I bet you didn't know that. The guy that climbed up Everest. He was from New Zealand. Fun, eh? Anyway, where was I? So, yeah. All the leaders are there. They got everyone. They've even got some non-white leaders. That's how international it is. They've got an Arab guy, I assume, or he's either a member of the Ku Klux Klan with a very deflated hood. And they're all held hostage. And guess what? And they're in South Africa. That's right. So I'm not really sure if it's a group of terrorists or a group of tourists who are just heavily armed to protect themselves from being on tour in South Africa. Anyway, they get going and there's a big fight and she rips off her scarlet gown and she beats the shit out of them, basically, without her scarlet gown on. Nothing to, you don't, thank God, get to see too much of this rather elderly lady kicking ass. But I'm assuming she'll save the day, which is why I suggest that you don't see this film in any way whatsoever because there's no point. And there's also a shoe joke at the end of the trailer, which was a big turn off for me. Not for Tarantino. I'm sure that's probably been the main reason he's in there watching this film is because there's a reference to feet. I also think the shoe joke was to try and pull in the 0.0001% of the female population that might actually want to go see this movie. So, but it didn't work for me. I've got enough high heel shoes of my own. I don't need to watch anybody else's collection. So if I was you, I would completely and utterly ignore this film. I would boycott it. I would parade up and down in front of the theaters, complaining about high heel shoes and their degradation in the film, and why you don't like people from New Zealand. Everybody understands that. This is the biggest load of rubbish I've ever seen.